Some people don't enter your home to visit you. They enter to study you. Have you ever noticed how certain people behave differently once they cross your door? Their eyes change. Their curiosity becomes strangely precise. Their silence becomes heavier. And the strange thing about people is, you rarely recognize dangerous intentions when they first arrive smiling. I am the watcher, and here, in Shadow Insight, we observe the hidden mechanisms behind human behavior. Most people think their home is just a place, a private space, a shelter from the outside world. But with time, you begin to notice something unsettling. The moment someone enters your home, they also enter your energy, your habits, your vulnerabilities, your reality. And not everyone who smiles at you should be allowed that access. Some people secretly compare. Some observe what you own. Some study your weaknesses. And some leave your home carrying resentment you never even noticed growing inside them. Tonight, you will understand why certain people should never be allowed too close to your private world. Not because they openly hate you, but because human nature changes when intimacy reveals what appearances were hiding all along. Watch carefully, because one of these three people may already be around you, and most people realize it far too late. If you've ever experienced a strange feeling after welcoming someone into your life, subscribe to Shadow Insight. And tell me in the comments, have you ever regretted letting someone get too close to your personal space? Have you ever noticed how some people become unusually attentive the moment they enter your home? At first, it seems harmless. They look around, they smile politely, they ask questions casually. Nice place. How much did this cost? When did you buy this? You're doing well these days. Nothing feels openly hostile, but with time, you begin to notice something strange. Their attention is never truly focused on you. It is focused on measurement. They observe your furniture, your television, your kitchen, the neighborhood you live in, the way your children speak, the atmosphere inside your house, and sometimes even your peace disturbs them, because many people are comfortable with your struggles, but your stability quietly unsettles them. The strange thing about envy is that it rarely announces itself directly. It hides behind compliments, behind curiosity, behind forced admiration. And this is why some people leave your home smiling, while internally comparing their entire life to yours. Jung believed that people often project the parts of themselves they cannot accept onto others. And sometimes, your home becomes a mirror they were never emotionally prepared to face, especially if your life appears calmer than theirs. Because a peaceful home reveals something painful to certain people, their own emotional chaos. Have you ever noticed how some visitors suddenly become distant after visiting you? Their messages slow down, their energy changes, their warmth disappears. Nothing happened openly, but internally comparison already began transforming their perception of you. Human nature always reveals itself eventually. Some people don't walk into your home to connect with you. They walk in unconsciously searching for proof that life has treated you better than them. And once resentment enters the mind, even your happiness can start feeling offensive to them. Some people are not interested in your home itself. They're interested in what your home reveals. Because a house always exposes fragments of a person's real life. Your habits, your routines, your financial situation, your emotional atmosphere, your weaknesses. And the strange thing about people is, many become more curious when they feel emotionally insecure around you. Have you ever wondered why certain visitors ask unusually specific questions? Questions that seem innocent at first. Do you live here alone? How much is your rent? Do you argue often? Who usually comes here? So this is where you work every day? They speak casually, but psychologically, they are collecting information. Freud believed that human beings are often driven by unconscious desires for control and reassurance. And information creates control. The more someone knows about your private world, the more psychologically powerful they feel around you. This is why some people pay attention to details you barely notice yourself. The medication on a table, an unpaid bill, the tension between two family members, the expensive object you tried to hide, the insecurity hidden behind your smile. Most people never realize that intimacy changes social dynamics. The moment someone gains access to your private environment, they stop imagining your life. Now they can analyze it. And some people quietly weaponize what they learn later. Not always through direct attacks, sometimes through gossip, subtle disrespect, passive-aggressive comments, cold behavior, manipulation. Because information changes power. Adler believed that many human behaviors are deeply connected to feelings of inferiority. And insecure people often seek hidden ways to rebalance power emotionally. That is why some visitors leave your home carrying more than memories. They leave carrying psychological leverage. Watch carefully how people behave after discovering your vulnerabilities. Some become more compassionate. Others become strangely different, more confident around you, more dismissive, less respectful, as if seeing your imperfections gave them relief. Because for certain people, your humanity is comforting only when it makes them feel superior. There is one type of person that becomes deeply uncomfortable inside a peaceful home. Not because the home is hostile, but because peace exposes the chaos they carry within themselves. Have you ever noticed how some people suddenly become louder, more critical, or strangely restless in calm environments? They joke excessively, they provoke tension, they criticize small details, they bring negativity into quiet moments. At first, it feels random. But human nature is rarely random. Some people have lived so long inside emotional instability that peace itself starts feeling unnatural to them. And when they enter a home filled with emotional balance, respect, or stability, they unconsciously try to disturb it. Nietzsche once observed that resentment changes the way people interpret the world. And resentful people often struggle to witness peace they cannot create themselves. This is why certain visitors leave emotional heaviness behind them. You feel drained after they leave. The atmosphere changes. Arguments suddenly appear. Stress increases for no clear reason. It almost feels irrational. But emotional energy between humans is more contagious than most people realize, especially inside private spaces. Your home is where your psychological defenses are lowest. You are more authentic there, more relaxed, less guarded. And some people unconsciously exploit that openness. The strange thing about toxic individuals is they rarely destroy things immediately. They slowly contaminate environments. A comment here, a criticism there, a small tension introduced subtly, until eventually your home no longer feels emotionally calm after their presence. Have you ever met someone who always brings problems, conflict, gossip, or discomfort wherever they go? That pattern is rarely accidental, because some people do not know how to emotionally connect without creating instability. Chaos is the only emotional language they truly understand. And when peaceful people allow them too much access, the home slowly stops feeling safe. Most people think danger comes from strangers. But human nature often works differently. The people who affect your life the most are usually the ones you trusted enough to let inside. Inside your conversations, inside your routines, inside your private world. Have you ever wondered why betrayal feels so psychologically violent? Because betrayal requires access. A stranger cannot deeply manipulate your emotional reality, but someone who has seen your home, your habits, your vulnerabilities, can. And this is why access is one of the most underestimated forms of power. The strange thing about people is, once someone becomes familiar with your private world, you often stop noticing their influence. Their presence becomes normal. Their energy becomes tolerated. Their disrespect becomes gradual. Until one day, you suddenly realize your peace disappeared. Slowly. Not suddenly. Slowly. Carl Jung believed that what remains unconscious eventually controls human behavior. And many people never consciously realize who is damaging their emotional environment, because toxic influence rarely arrives aggressively at first. It often arrives smiling, polite, helpful, interested. That is why wisdom is not simply knowing who to trust. Wisdom is knowing who should never receive deep access to your life in the first place. Not everyone deserves intimacy. Not everyone deserves proximity. And not everyone who enters your home truly wishes you well. Some people only admire you from a distance, but once they see your reality closely, envy, comparison, resentment, and hidden competition quietly begin growing inside them. Watch carefully who changes after becoming close to you, because sometimes the greatest threat to your peace was never outside your home. It was the person you opened the door for. Most people never think carefully about who they allow into their home. They think politeness is harmless, hospitality is harmless, access is harmless. But human relationships change the moment privacy disappears. Tonight, you discovered something uncomfortable. Some people compare themselves to you in silence. Some collect information they were never meant to have. And some cannot tolerate peace they do not possess themselves. The strange thing about human nature is people rarely reveal their true intentions immediately, especially when they still need access to you. That was the hidden mechanism from the beginning. Your home is not just a physical place, it is a psychological territory. And the people you allow inside influence far more than your environment. They influence your emotional stability, your energy, your relationships, even the way you see yourself over time. This is why boundaries are not cruelty, they are protection. With time, you begin to notice that emotionally intelligent people become extremely selective about access. Not because they hate others, but because they understand something most people learn too late. Every person who enters your private world leaves something behind. An emotion, an influence, a tension, or a scar. I am the watcher. And here, in Shadow Insight, we observe the hidden truth behind human behavior. If this video made you recognize someone you once trusted, subscribe to Shadow Insight and tell me in the comments, have you ever realized too late that someone should never have been allowed so close to your life? Because sometimes the most dangerous people are not the ones outside your door, but the ones you welcomed inside.